King's Proposal, Volume 1 Review. Readers may recognize author Koshi Tachibana and illustrator Sonako as a team to create the light novel series Day Alive, which is numerous anime projects under its belt and run for 22 volumes. And the duo returned with a new series, King's Proposal, but does it prove an entertaining read? Let's take a look. The story follows Japanese high school student Moshiki Koga, who is on his way home one day when he stumbles across a beautiful wounded woman having been attacked. The stranger is mortally wounded, and the culprit still lurks in the shadow. Unfortunately for Mushiki, now he's a witness, he's also destined to meet an ultimately the base that ends up being stabbed before he even knows what's happening. Lucky for Mushiki, the woman is Saika Kozaki, the most powerful mage in existence, and to save both their lives. She merges her body with Mushiki. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself in her body, and the rule he doesn't recognize it is told he's the handmaster of an academy for mages. Worse still, Moshiki learns that the world is regularly attacked by annihilation factors, events that could destroy the world if left unchecked. In fact, the Earth has been destroyed many times. It just turns out that for ions, mages have been working hard to thwart the annihilation factors. If done in time, any damage and human deaths are reverted to before the event, so people are not wiser than anything ever happened. Moshiki may have inherited Saika's body and her powers, but understandably, he has no real control over them yet. This means the world is at considerable risk of being wiped out. If it wasn't bad enough, Psycho's killer is still out there, somewhere, and once they learn their target didn't die, they're sure to come back to finish the job. To keep Psycho's body safe until they can split apart, Mushiki is enrolled in the academy so he can learn how to use his magic, but that brings with it its own trouble. He must flawlessly pretend to be Psycho, and that's hard enough as it is. But it just so turns out that Mushiki's sister, Ruri Foyayo, their parents divorced when they were young, hence the different last names. It's also in Mushiki's new class, and she both loves her brother and admires Saika. So there's very chance they will realize the truth. I have never seen or read Day Life, but reading King's Proposal, it's easy to see why Koichi Tachibana's work is so popular. On the surface, this is your fairly average Magic Academy and our body swap story, but there's a lot of detail here in terms of world building that we as the readers are sticking with it for the whole book. I like that this is set on Earth, but magic is an unknown quantity that the masses know nothing about. It's a trope the likes of which many of us will have seen before. Harry Potter, anyone? Well, he helps us get used to Mushiki in his new environment because he has no excuse. An excuse to be clueless. And you learn about all this alongside the reader. Mushiki's personality is very earnest, and while it will be unreasonable to be overwhelmed, when your world is turned upside down like this, instead of he pushes onwards, eager to protect Saika, who he's falling in love with. Yes, it was love at first sight when he first stumbled upon her bleeding out in the street, and doesn't want to see the world look somewhat so beautiful and important. This expatriates Koroi Karasuma, Saika's attendant, and the only one who knows about Mushiki's personality, but it makes Mushiki a likable lead. The main issue with Volume 1 is that the sluggish setup and only gets to the most interesting stuff 50 pages for the end, where the situation changes quite dramatically. That's forgivable since I was enjoying myself the whole way, but it does mean that if you want to see what King's Proposal really has to offer, that you have to be willing to be on the poke for another volume. Another problem is that Ruri appears to be quite in love with her brother, while it's clear Mushiki only has eyes for Saika. That's still an element I think people have done without a will put some readers off, even it's clear that ship is sailing. King Proposal Volume 1 comes to the West thanks to Yen Press under the Yen on imprint. It's translated by Hein Trowell, and the translation largely reads well, although there are repeated instances early on where the female characters are introduced and the description focuses on their eye shape and lips and it's not the same vocabulary. It's quite repetitive in a short space of time, and what is an issue with the author rather than the translator. I don't think there's some small variations in one wording will alleviate the issue, but that's just as much an editorial team to figure it out too. So there are a few different places that have been fixed. As usual for Yen Press, this release includes full color pages, so Nako's art is largely unlimited the character profiles for this volume, but given it's a school setting and there's a lot of characters in the mix, it's nice to have visuals from the main cast. This series is ongoing in Japan with 5 volumes so far. Yen Press has released 3 in English, with number 4 currently not scheduled, which suggests a significant break ahead of us. Still, having that much available already is going to offer more than enough for readers to make up their minds and how they feel about this one. Overall, King's Proposal Volume 1 gets off to an interesting start. Fans of Koichi Tachibana's work and newcomers alike will certainly not be disappointed. But what is shaping up to be a polished fantasy series? These release may be largely set up, but it's clear that our patience will be rewarded in the books to come. 8 out of 10.